Gordon Soley, your host. We're going to be seeing more of that action in just a couple of moments between superstar Billy Graham and Kevin Sullivan. Buddy Colt is with me, and Buddy, a lot of great matches upcoming.
There really is. A big match tonight in Lakeland that you won't want to miss, and many great matches throughout the state this coming week. Now, today on TV, you'll be seeing in action former World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion Dory Funk Jr. Also a match with the Cuban connection with a man that claims to be from Moscow, Russia, Krusher Kruschev, and his tag team partner, the Saint. Also, you'll be seeing in action today superstar Billy Graham.
It's going to be quite an hour indeed. Mike Graham will be out a little bit later on to wrestle. And right now, we're going to go to the ring and watch Chief Joe Lightfoot going up against one of the Hollywood Blondes. So let's go to the squared circle for our first match here today on Championship Wrestling 84. In that far corner in the red trunks, of course, Chief Joe Lightfoot. In the white and black trunks, the Hollywood Blonde.
This should be a pretty fast-moving match. These men are, I'd say, pretty close to the same weight. Chief Joe Lightfoot has a little experience on the Hollywood Blonde. However, the tactics and antics of the Hollywood Blonde, he's a controversial wrestler, a controversial style. You're going to have to watch him at every minute because he will resort to anything to win a match.
Reversal by Chief Joe Lightfoot has the hammerlock on the Hollywood Blonde. Now takes it to a bottom wrist lock. And so the Hollywood Blonde has his share of problems. Bottom wrist lock, lateral drop, and takedown. Hollywood Blonde back to his feet. Goes under for a slam.
Oh, Chief Joe Lightfoot just hanging on to that arm bar. Looks like he has it locked in there pretty well. The Hollywood Blonde forcing him back to the ropes, which, of course, forces a break. And there's Chief Joe Lightfoot with arm drag takedown, coming up with that arm again.
Well, the Hollywood Blonde has found himself pretty much in trouble throughout this. He has not been able to counter well against Chief Joe Lightfoot. Referee Bill Alfonso, excellent official, keeps moving around the ring at all times, keeping his eyes pinned on those competitors. Aha, the Blonde drives the knee to the midsection. Tries an Irish whip, reversed by Lightfoot. Lightfoot charging in, caught on the chest, however, by the Blonde.
Well, going up against the Hollywood Blonde, you can't afford to make mistakes. Chief Joe Lightfoot made a mistake by running in against the Hollywood Blonde there, and the Hollywood Blonde is taking full advantage of everything there. Big elbow coming off the ropes. Chief Joe Lightfoot is in trouble. He's able to kick out from there. The Blonde coming up with a reverse chin lock here.
So Lightfoot on the canvas. Now he's got to figure a counter, an escape and a counter, I might add. Special word to Denny Silencio in Jacksonville, recuperating, and we hope that Danny has a successful recuperation. Chops by Chief Joe Lightfoot into the throat of the Hollywood Blonde. And Lightfoot catches him again coming off the ropes. Good tomahawk chop. Caught him in a snap mare and trapped those legs. And the Blonde really tried to duck back away from that, but couldn't escape those hands of Chief Joe Lightfoot. And he took him down for the pinning combination. With me right now at the desk is superstar Billy Graham, and of course, a rather surprising change and turn of events.
Yeah, big change, big turn of events. Major things have been happening in the wrestling world. We all recognize this. Implemented many evil things. A lot of people that's hurt. Hostages have been held hostages. Terrorists have been taken with this golden spike. Superstar Billy Graham has taken it away from Kevin Sullivan. I got the golden spike from Kevin Sullivan, and we've got some.
We do indeed.
Or do we not?
Yes, we do indeed.
Got some videotape.
We are going to be seeing exactly how that occurred. So if we can, let's go now to this situation.
Okay, here we go. Now, Gordon, you see in a match here, threw me into the post. There's the spike. I stop it. Got the hand against hand, arm against arm, fighting him for it. I can't afford it. It's on the ground now. We're both fighting for it. On the ground, scrambling. There it goes. Out in the open, Humperdinck's got it. Back is there, and I see him karate chopping the throat. Humperdinck loses the spike. I got to get it. My only chance. Out in the audience, on the floor, got it. Back in the ring. There they go like cowards. Fight about it. Tried a shot at Humperdinck. Missed him by about an inch or two. There he's gone. It's screaming, yelling, and lost it. Got the spike in my hand. Got the spike in my hand. Kevin Sullivan running for his life. Oliver Humperdinck running for his life.
Well, you know, it seems to me that you're beginning to really destroy the world of Kevin Sullivan.
Well, I'm trying to destroy the world of Kevin Sullivan because Kevin Sullivan has destroyed many worlds himself. He's destroyed many lives with this very, very, very instrument of evil right here, the golden spike, Superstar Billy Graham. The only man to take it from him. And let me tell you people out in television land, Superstar Billy Graham is going to give back Kevin Sullivan his golden spike at the proper time, in the proper way. Don't know where it's going to be. It might be Lakeland, might be Miami Beach, might be right in Tampa, might be Orlando, but I will give Kevin Sullivan his golden spike back.
Before you go, Kevin
the way
Sullivan,
he should get it.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Kevin Sullivan and Sir Oliver Humperdinck had some previously recorded comments that I think bear listening to at this particular time.
You know, Kevin, over the last couple of weeks, a lot of things have happened to us and to our careers. First of all, the lock. Seeing the light, went back to the good side, to the bright side. Then Superstar Billy Graham turning on us, turning his back on us, the men that made him famous. But you know, there's one thing, there's one constant in our life, and you've brought him back for us. He's here, brother.
Superstar Billy Graham. I am the man that sent you to the desert. I am the man that sent you to the river bottom. I am the man that you thought you purged yourself from. Well, the goodness in your heart will soon be ripped out. Because the one man that I can conjure up, the one man that I can believe in at all times, the one man that Habuddin himself has sent to me in Humperdinck. The purple haze is coming home. Off the mountaintop, from Diamond Head he has arisen. From the depths of the ocean he has come back. Through the 13 veils of fire he has walked. Purged himself of nobody, especially Habuddin and myself. Billy Graham, you thought you had me in hump cornered. I think it's the other way around. Don't turn your back. It will be the good, the bad, and the ugly against you.
Okay, Gordon, the man can babble, rant and rave all he wants. Bring whoever he wants to. The haze, it makes no difference. All I got to say is bring them all to me. And Kevin Sullivan, I'm going to give you your golden spike back in the manner that you have given it to many people before. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Superstar Billy Graham, and receiving quite a hand from the folks here at the Sportatorium. We'll be back in just a moment.
You know,
Championship Wrestling will be held this coming Monday night in West Palm Beach at the West Palm Beach Auditorium. This coming Wednesday night, Championship Wrestling will be held in Hollywood, Florida at the Hollywood Sportatorium. And don't forget the big wrestling spectacular coming to Miami on Saturday the 27th at the Miami Baseball Stadium. That'll be Miami on the 27th at the Miami Baseball Stadium. Now then, this coming Wednesday night in Hollywood at the Hollywood Sportatorium, Kevin Sullivan goes up against Superstar Billy Graham. Sir Oliver Humperdinck will be suspended above the ring in a steel cage. Jesse Barr and Dory Funk Jr. take on Pistol Pez Whatley and Larry Hamilton. The U.S. Tag Team Champions, Krusher, Kruschev, and Jim Neidhart go up against Scott McGhee and Mike Graham, the title on the line. The Brass Knucks Championship on the line, the one-man gang against Buck Robley. There will be 2 other matches. I have both Pistol Pez Whatley and Larry Hamilton with me. Gentlemen, good luck to you against a very tough combination.
Yeah, Gordon, thank you very much. You know, I got something I want to say to Jesse Barr and to Dory Funk Jr. If you think for 1 second that you're going to walk in Hollywood with a bag of feathers and stick them on Pez and I, brother, you hadn't had a fight. You haven't had a real fight till you come in the ring with a bag of feathers at Pez and myself. Now, we're not coming here to play no games, no head games, none whatsoever. But just bring it on. Bring what you got.
That's right, because Dory Funk is a whole lot of funk going on. And we're going to be able to participate. And you, Jesse Barr, I'm going to see if we can hit you so hard we'll change the expression on Dory Funk's face. Yeah.
It's all going to happen, of course, at the Hollywood Sportatorium on Wednesday night, October 17th. Gentlemen, I know that you're going to be watching this match with Kevin Sullivan and Superstar with a great deal of interest.
Well, I'll tell you what. Superstar has had his due with Kevin Sullivan. And Kevin Sullivan, you're going to bring the Abula Dean out there, and Superstar going to beat him back down where he belongs. That's all that's going to happen then.
We'll see you Wednesday night. Before we move on to our next match, we'd like to pause for just a moment to present our Missing Children's Bulletin. We have two youngsters that we would like to show you this week. First of all, this is Jeremy Keith Gonzalez. Jeremy is a 9-year-old. He's 4 feet tall, weighs 65 pounds. He was last seen on August 20th, 1981 in Orlando. He was in the company of his non-custodial mother, Diane Gonzalez. They may be in the vicinity of Buffalo, New York, or Cocoa Beach, Florida. Anyone having any information on this missing youngster, please call 1-800-342-0821. Our second missing youngster is Rebecca Virginia Banks, also known as Becky. She is 16. She's 5'5" and weighs 98 pounds. She was last seen January 8th at New Smyrna Beach. She could be in the vicinity of Daytona Beach or Houston, Texas, or Middletown, Ohio. Once again, anyone having any information, please contact the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, 1-800-342-0821. Set to go with our next match now. That's the Southern Heavyweight Champion, Pistol Pez Whatley, getting ready to move out against Tommy Wright. One fall with a 10-minute time limit. Whatley removing, there's the bell.
Well, you see Pistol Pez offering a handshake there, and Tommy Wright refusing. Tommy Wright's going to have to be on his guard. You know, Pistol Pez Whatley had quite a background. Went to University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, was a national NCAA wrestling champion, has held numerous titles since turning professional. And see, he has Tommy Wright in a lot of trouble this early in the match.
It was a pretty heel trip, and immediately over on his back, and Wright now trying to escape from it. Almost got himself in a bad position there. Now is still in trouble as excellent move by Pistol Pez Whatley. The name on the marquee is wrestling, and that's exactly what Pistol Pez is out there to do. Wright, of course, also has a pretty extensive background as a multi-talented athlete. Side headlock now by Wright. Top wrist block by Whatley, and a takedown to the canvas.
One really great aspect of wrestling with Pistol Pez Whatley is that he has a counter move for virtually any hold that his opponent comes up with. He's constantly thinking, constantly moving, and the man that knows the counter moves always has so much more going for him. Right here, the very nice fireman's carry. I'd like to take a moment to say hi to Ed Thorworth over at the Bayfront Medical Center, who's recuperating from a little bit of a boating accident last Sunday, and we wish you a speedy recovery, Ed.
And I'll add my sentiments to that.
Thank you, Gordon.
Up against the ring ropes now, Tommy Wright holding the momentary advantage, the referee tolling the count. And it was a clean break.
See, Pistol Pez just circling his man, very cautious, always wary of his man, never underestimating his opponent. Very nice hip takedown there. You see, he's got his weight across the upper body of Tommy Wright, just forcing him to breathe harder.
Wright tried to turn that to his own advantage, but to no avail, and now it is both men back on their feet. Pez Whatley continuing to clamp down on that side headlock. Wright brings him up, but Whatley hangs in there.
Well, Tommy Wright's going to have to get back off to his back, over onto his stomach, and back to his feet to try and reverse this hold or escape. And that's what he's doing. He's forcing his way back to his feet, and his escape is to push Pistol Pez Whatley into the rope, which calls for an automatic break.
Once again, Pistol Pez Whatley in a good clean break. Steps back. Whatley circles his man. Wright on that bicycle, watching him. Collar and elbow. Back into the ropes once again. The referee calling for the break. Wright. Cheap shot on the break. Connects with another forearm. Pistol Pez Whatley firing back. Irish whip off the ropes into a high backdrop. And Pistol Pez. Looking good with a high drop kick, catches right in the chest, takes him off his feet. He's back on his feet. Irish whip into the ropes, just like that. Flying cross body block. There you get it, the Southern heavyweight champion, Pistol Pez Whatley, and certainly a very impressive victory over Tommy Wright. You know, we're talking about great champions, and some of the matches we're going to be seeing today, former world champion Dory Funk Jr., but certainly the current NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Ric Flair, has become a legend really in his own time.
Well, yes, he has. You know, of course, the NWA being the largest wrestling body in the world and the oldest, and Ric Flair has been quite a wrestling champion. He has only taken on the top competitors everywhere in the world.
And we're going to take a look at Ric Flair in action right now, and you'll get an idea of what we're talking about. Ric Flair completely dominates the ring when he steps inside. He is an exceptionally dangerous opponent. He loves the fast life. But he has kept himself in tremendous condition. He was in the air over 313 days last year, traveling around the world in title defenses. There's that high vertical souffle that he is so famous for. And there you see him, and he always makes that statement, now it's time to go to school. And Ric Flair into the spinning toe hold, from there into that Eddie Graham figure four. And opponents just don't back away from that. Once that figure four goes on, it's all over. As you can see, referee Tommy Young raising the hand of the still NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Ric Flair. We'll be back with more action in a moment. It was not too many weeks ago that an alliance was formed, obviously, with the former World Heavyweight Champion, Dory Funk Jr. and Jesse Barr. Dory Funk Jr., of course, held the World Heavyweight Championship longer than any other champion in the history of the NWA, 4.5 years. So Mr. Barr is really fortunate to have somebody with your experience and your background as obviously his mentor now.
Well, Gordon certainly is. And in Jesse Barr, you people are looking at one of the greatest natural athletes in professional sports. You know, they may talk about the Russ Francis's and the Walter Paytons, but in wrestling, it's Jesse Barr. And in a few weeks ago here on Championship Wrestling from Florida, in the past 4 or 5 weeks, he has gained some tremendous victories. And I know we've got some videotapes of some victories of Jesse Barr. We'd like to take a look at them. Jesse, tell him what you're doing here.
Oh, that's a move that I've changed a little bit to where I can cripple people with it. That is my shoulder breaker right there. When I do that to a man, there's no way he can get back up.
Your forte in wrestling in the amateur ranks, of course, was Greco-Roman upper body, right?
That's correct, yeah. In Greco-Roman wrestling, you have to be so aggressive that you have to be almost vicious. In fact, the person that is more aggressive and more vicious is usually the winner of the match.
You know, Gordon, when you're watching Jesse Barr, you'll see him not only win matches, but you'll see him hurt people. And I'd like to say something else. Jesse Barr and myself are coming after the Florida Heavyweight Championship. We consider the Florida Heavyweight Championship belt the prime belt in professional wrestling in this area. You will see Jesse Barr or myself with the Florida Heavyweight Championship soon.
Well, I don't mean to dispute your word, and I'm certainly not going to argue the point with you. I'm just going to tell you this, and I'm sure you're well aware of it. To try and get that belt away from Scott McGhee is going to take a bit of doing. In fact, the matter is, you two had an opportunity to try and take it away from him not too terribly long ago, and found out it was not the easiest job in the world.
Well, Gordon, you just mark my word. In the next few weeks, you will see Jesse Barr and myself with that championship belt. Right here in this particular match, wrestled Scotty McGhee for an hour. We didn't come out with the Florida Heavyweight Championship there, but we will. And another thing, this man has accomplished everything that you can accomplish. A few weeks ago in Tampa, Jesse Barr against the great Billy Jack. Let's take a look at that, Gordon, and let's see how Jesse Barr fares against Billy Jack.
Well, let me ask you a question first before we get to this thing on Billy Jack, because Billy Jack was injured in this particular match. Mr. Barr appears to be, in my opinion, sometimes a bit overly aggressive. Are you going to be able to control...
There's no such thing as being overly aggressive. The more aggressive you are, the more chance, the more sure you're going to be to win the match.
Well, that's a point well taken. Let's take a look now at this match between Jesse Barr and Billy Jack. Billy Jack at about 270 pounds, a tremendously powerful athlete. No question about this, but he is beginning to pay the price here.
Well, Gordon, when we're talking about aggressiveness, we're talking about Jesse Barr. He's very aggressive. You see, he follows Billy Jack to the floor, throws him back in the ring. Is not going to give Billy Jack a chance to get his win. And as any great wrestler would, you see Jesse Barr working on one point on his body, working on an arm and staying after that arm. If you take a look, you'll see that Billy Jack is obviously exhausted. That points out to the great condition of Jesse Barr.
Well, there's certainly no question about conditioning being a key factor in the sport, and Barr is very definitely overwhelming him here.
Watch Jesse working on the arm, picks him up for the shoulder breaker that we talked about. And this is, as you know, Billy Jack was injured in this match, and that's how it happened right there with that shoulder breaker there. Jesse Barr is right back on the arm again, staying right on the same place. There he picks him up again for another shoulder breaker. Jesse lost him right here, but if you watch, Billy Jack goes for the full Nelson, and the full Nelson is completely ineffective against a great athlete like Jesse Barr. Billy Jack tried his best shot. It didn't work, and Jesse is back up right after the same point on his body. Picks him up, and here it comes, Gordon. Watch this. There's the shoulder breaker again, the pin. And there you see it, the greatest wrestler in professional wrestling today, Jesse Barr. Right, Jesse?
Yes, that's correct. Billy Jack still has not recovered from that shoulder breaker yet today.
They're very pleased about it, obviously. Well, I must admit, I never thought I'd see...
how effective that move can be.
Well, that's certainly very true. I never thought I'd see the day that Billy Jack could be so completely and totally demolished. Thank you, gentlemen, for being with us. It's been most interesting.
Well, let me say this, Gordon. Demolishing Billy Jack was no great task for Jesse Barr. Anytime a wrestler faces a weightlifter, that's generally the way it comes out. That was no big accomplishment for Jesse Barr. He's a great athlete. We're coming after that Florida title.
We could beat guys like that all day long.
Indeed. Thank you very much. We'll be back. Hollywood Blonde's Jesse Barr is asked to stay here at the desk while Dory Funk Jr. is retired to get ready for his match upcoming. And I thought it might be interesting from a former...
But, you know, the Hollywood Blonde made a mistake there. That's a mistake that I would never make. When Mike Graham tripped him down there, it was merely by mistake of the Hollywood Blonde.
Graham closes in, tells good fireman carry takes.
That was a very sloppy fireman's carry. If it would have been me doing the fireman's carry, I probably would have got a near fall out of it.
Well, that looked like a very smoothly executed fireman's carry to me, regardless of what Jesse Barr might say. Mike Graham is an accomplished wrestler. Jesse, let me ask you this. You are basically a Greco-Roman wrestler. You don't use your legs. Do you have any difficulty when encountering a wrestler that does use his legs also?
I can wrestle any style of wrestling. Greco-Roman was my specialty. That's what I enjoyed the most. Look at Mike Graham work on this.
Well, I see superstar Billy Graham is there intently watching the match, and I believe we might know why he is there. But not too long ago, it seemed like Mike Graham was the only one that did come out and offer a little assistance to superstar Billy Graham when he was attacked by Kevin Sullivan and Charlie Humperdinck with a chair.
Hollywood Blonde cut himself off balance, so Mike was just barely be able to get him over with that sloppy arm takeover.
Surely you can't criticize that single leg pickup.
Hey, if I would have done it, it would have been done right with the right amount of timing and finesse.
Well, obviously, Jesse Barr is being very critical of every move that Mike Graham makes for no good reason.
Now he's got him. Look at Mike Graham now. It doesn't look like he's doing too hot right now, does he? Look at him use those illegal maneuvers.
Side headlock by the Hollywood Blonde. Graham fires him off. Drop toe hold by Mike Graham.
Hollywood Blonde, you know, almost tripped over his own feet. Anybody could have got that hold in that amount of time there. Look at him deliberately trying to break that man's leg.
Well, I don't think he's trying to break the man's leg. I think he's trying to get the man to submit.
Which he did. Which he did indeed.
He was deliberately trying to break that man's leg. That man's leg was so close to being broke, you know, that he'd give up.
Listen, you. Mike Graham happens to be the greatest technical wrestlers in the world.
Who told you that?
You go.
Who
You
told you
shut your
that?
mouth. You shut your mouth.
Hey, I don't have to do nothing.
You weren't asked to come out here. Shut your big fat mouth and prove it in the ring. You go program, let's get in the ring and
Hey,
prove it,
you know, I'm all dressed up right now. I'm all dressed up right now, all right? I'd get in there and show you a lesson right now. I'd get in there and show you a lesson, but I'm all dressed up right now.
Well, Mr. Barr has decided to discreetly leave the scene. Mike Graham is here. And I have a hunch that Mike was ready to go as well, but we've got a match in the ring now. Ninja moving out against Scott McGhee. One fall, so there's the bell. Scott McGhee, and brother, he was hot. I've never seen Scotty, who generally contains his temper pretty well.
Well, it seemed to me like Scott McGhee was just about ready to attack Jesse Barr right here at the desk. Sometimes wrestlers go too far in their rhetoric, and Jesse Barr went a little bit too far. Every move that Mike Graham made, he was critical of, and Jesse Barr and Dory Funk Jr. have had their chances at Scott McGhee, and they haven't gotten that belt yet.
That's a fact. Although they present, in my opinion, an extremely dangerous combination. There's no question about that.
Well, that's definitely for sure, because they are both great wrestlers, but they seem to try and underestimate their opponent. You cannot underestimate a man like Scott McGhee, who is the Florida Heavyweight Wrestling Champion, has held that title for quite some time, has defended against any and all comers, and he only picks some of the top competitors.
Yeah, he doesn't handpick his opponents, that's for sure. Scotty is a tremendous athlete, and I think he was exactly right in his comments about Mike Graham, by the way. Mike, as a technician, and I'm talking about the very, very technical aspects of the sport, is one of the finest. And, oh, brother. Both men colliding, and Scott McGhee apparently caught it in the eye. Caught it in the... Wait a minute.
Oh, what's this? What's
Jesse
going on
Barr.
here?
Jesse Barr just charged for... And Scott McGhee tripped him up. Scott McGhee tripped him up. And Scott McGhee is letting Jesse Barr have it, brother. He is really laying some right hand, some forearm. Jesse Barr battling away. And it is Scott McGhee. That adrenaline is really flowing, and Scott McGhee is exploding on Jesse Barr. Scott McGhee, now Dory Funk Jr. is out there. And it is Jesse Barr trying to get out of that ring. Scott McGhee hanging on like a pit bull. And now Dory Funk Jr. pulling him away. Jesse Barr wants some more of it, but he wants more, but it's... wow!
Boy, what a souffle that was.
High backbreaking a souffle, and Scott McGhee is after Jesse Barr, but Dory Funk Jr. is restraining him, and, well... discretion is the better part of valor here. We'll be back. Neidhart won the U.S. Tag Team Championship. Krusher Kruschev is with me right now, along with the Saint.
That's right, Gordon. So that's the reason why we came so far to get these things, because we're the United States champions. And this symbol right here, we're going to keep this championship right here. And I want to see this videotape again here, because I'm proud to show you exactly what these American athletes are really like.
Well, we're going to be seeing that in just a moment. As you can see, we're having... There we go. And this is an example of the teamwork of these two as they turn back the U.S.
That's right. Have you ever seen any American athletes like that? No.
Well, I must admit that it is most impressive, and of course, the Saint, many people believe this is the Cuban connection. Is that true?
That's right. That's right. We're going to go a long ways right here with the Saint and Jim Neidhart, and there's nobody, no American athlete that are going to take him with us. Have you ever seen an American athlete beat a Russian? No.
Campeón de todos Estados Unidos, quiero que todo el mundo mira Jim Neidhart, mira Kruschev, porque vamos a ir a donde queremos ir, porque estos son los campeones más buenos de todo el mundo.
Well, they've made their point quite clear. They have a matchup coming, and so we'll go to the ring at this time. Coco Samoa and Angelo Mosca Jr. moving out against Krusher, Kruschev, and the Saint. One fall, a 10-minute time limit. Showing the hammer and the sickle. I'll say one thing about Kruschev. He and Neidhart are indeed one of the most awesome pairs I've ever seen in the sport.
Well, they're big, powerful, and without any regard for their fellow human being at all. They're just out there to completely annihilate their opponent and destroy them. This is going to be a very interesting tag team combination right here with the Saint and Krusher Kruschev. Earlier, I was trying to get some information from Krusher Kruschev and the Saint in the dressing room about Krusher Khrushchev's birthplace and all, and he was very evasive about all of his answers. He tells me he was born in Moscow, Russia. He's 25 years old, 6'4", 287 pounds. His favorite submission hold is the inverted body vice, which is the backbreaker that you just saw him use on the Guerrero brother. I am starting to believe, though, because of his perfect English language, that he is perhaps an American, a turncoat, a Benedict Arnold, a communist, American traitor.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing that makes me a little bit... Coco Samoa having a high, beautiful... quick takedowns by Samoa. Now, that's the thing about Kruschev that irritates me. Educated here in the United States, the land of milk and honey, and then has the audacity to do all of this criticizing. But I'll tell you what. The Saint and Kruschev are going to have their hands full with Angelo Mosca Jr. and Coco Samoa. This Samoa is a literal explosion waiting to happen.
Well, both wrestlers expelled a lot of energy there, and Coco Samoa coming up with the arm bar, tagging out the Angelo Mosca Jr. coming right onto that same arm. This big knee into the stomach of Angelo took a lot of wind out of him, tagging out to the big Russian. Mosca turning the tables on him very quickly, very nicely.
And Kruschev jamming Mosca's head into the turnbuckle. Ooh, beautiful move by Mosca in behind his man. Drives him all the way back to the... And then Mosca back again. Didn't take him off his feet, but caught him with a tremendous drop kick. Full arm drag and twist now by Mosca.
Angelo Mosca Jr., being fairly new in the professional wrestling ranks, sometimes might be prone to make a mistake, be overly anxious, go do things that he should lay back. And right there, his throat was dropped on that top rope, and that got him in a lot of trouble. And in comes the Saint. I'm sure he's going to take full advantage. Well, here's Angelo Mosca fighting back. It takes a lot to put this man down. Quick tag to the Samoan.
Coco Samoa moves in on him again, the Saint. And he caught the Saint coming off the ropes. And Samoa, after that mask of the Saint. And what's the Saint doing?
Uh-oh, look at that. He's putting on that glove.
He is indeed. He's... Makes the tag and had that other glove on. What's that? There is... And he is conceding. He is conceding. And Mosca tried to charge into the ring. He was cut off by the Saint. So the victors in this match, the Cuban Connection, Krusher, Kruschev, and the Saint. Talking about seeing great tag teams in action. We're going to see a pair of competitors right now that have taken the wrestling world by storm. No question about that. I'm referring to the Fantastics. And let's take a look now at the Fantastics. seems rather full of surprises. James Kent has joined Dory Funk with me here at the desk. And gentlemen,
Well, first of all, Gordon, let me say this. I noticed that Mike Graham, Chicken Mike Graham, is going around hiding behind the overstuffed steroid buffoon, superstar Graham. I noticed they're hanging around together. And you know, Gordon, when we did what we wanted to, when we took care of Scotty McGhee, we really didn't mean that for Scotty McGhee. It was Mike Graham that we were after. So we've got a special challenge, my manager and myself, for Mike Graham. Right?
Right? You see this right here, Mike Graham? You see this? We got a challenge for you. We challenge you to get in that ring there and wrestle against the greatest wrestler that's ever been in professional wrestling. And if you lose, you get tarred and feathered. Loser gets tarred and feathered.
Okay.
well, there you see exactly what they were talking about when they tarred and feathered Scott McGhee. And now we're back into the ring. It is Dory Funk Jr. moving out against Larry Hamilton.
Well, there's Larry Hamilton with a nice home drag takedown. Larry Hamilton, being from Tampa, Florida, he went to college at the University of Tampa and excelled in wrestling there. Held several state titles, NCAA championship. He's a wrestler that Tampa, Florida is very proud of. You see his nice set out and escaping from Dory Funk, coming right back to his feet. Dory Funk looking a little befuddled and amazed that Larry Hamilton was able to get away so quickly.
Well, Larry Hamilton has certainly proven that he is an ample professional as well as he was an amateur twice, Florida state champion out of the University of Tampa. And, of course, he's caught now in a side headlock by Dory Funk Jr. Dory Funk Jr., of course, known as Mr. Cool in the ring. As I said earlier in the program, held the NWA World Heavyweight Championship longer than any man in the history of the sport, 4.5 years. He has said so many times that he has dedicated his life to wrestling, but one thing that bugs him, and that's the Graham name.
It really does. He is really having a hard time with the Graham. Mike Graham has been giving him a fit. And now it also seems like he's been having some problems with superstar Graham.
Well, and of course, it all started back with Dory Funk Sr. and Eddie Graham. And Eddie Graham, of course, who has held the North American Heavyweight Championship and so many other titles. But that family feud, I guess, just started and it's grown. And the Graham name, of course, eclipsed the Funk name for many years. Funk finally got to the World Heavyweight Championship and really felt that that was going to eclipse the Graham name, but that hasn't done it either. So there's a lot of deep-seated animosity.
Well, it's always come right down now to Mike Graham, and seems like Dory Funk challenging Mike Graham to a tar and feather match. In all my years, I have never seen such a match. But if this does come about, I will want to be there and watch it, and I would just love to see Dory Funk Jr. get tarred and feathered.
Armbar now by Dory Funk Jr., and it is Hamilton. Taken down again by Funk, and notice the way Funk utilizes those legs. Partial grapevining. Hamilton slips away from that, however. Leapfrog by Hamilton. Hamilton set over his man again. That time, caught Funk high in the head with a drop kick. Hamilton, another drop kick that drives Funk through the ropes and outside. And much to the pleasure of the fans here at the Sportatorium, Funk moves back into the ring.
Well, Dory Funk, being the ring veteran that he is, when he's in trouble, he knows it's time to get out and try and regain his senses and his thoughts and come back. And there's Larry Hamilton fighting right out of the corner and returning the tables on Dory Funk Jr. very quickly.
Ooh, Hamilton. Funk slid to one side. Hamilton caught that turnbuckle, and he's got some problems now in Funk. Opportunist that he is quick to take advantage of it. A snapmare. Drives him with a forearm to the side of the jaw. Another forearm. And Hamilton in a lot of trouble here. again, Funk just punishing his man. Being told by the referee.
Oh, look, here comes superstar Billy Graham.
Superstar Billy Graham has him in a full Nelson. He throws him to one side, and we'll be back in just a moment. Have to get back into that ring, and superstar Billy Graham wants him. And now Funk pushing Kent to one side. The referee is pushed to one side by superstar Billy Graham. And it is superstar Billy Graham and Dory Funk Jr. mixing it up. Dory Funk Jr.'s got that figure for the spinning toe hold. Broken up by superstar Billy Graham. And it's Funk leaving the ring. Funk again trying to be restrained by Jimmy Kent, but to no avail. Funk moves back in there. And now, superstar Billy Graham catches him, a double thrust coming off the rope. Funk is down, and superstar Billy Graham in behind him. Going for that full Nelson, and Funk slips away from it and goes outside the ring. And superstar still wants him. Dory Funk Jr.
Well, so you can just feel the excitement in the air here at the Sportatorium. Superstar Billy Graham wants him very badly. There's a lot of intensity there, a lot of friction. But you cannot underestimate an athlete like Dory Funk Jr. There he's going for the spinning toe hold again. This has been his submission hold. But I have never seen superstar Billy Graham submit.
It's the very hold that brought him the World Heavyweight Championship, and superstar Billy Graham right after him again. Superstar Billy Graham going for that full Nelson. And Funk, he can't quite get it locked in. And now Jimmy Kent up there taking a cheap shot at superstar Billy Graham. And our time is rapidly running out here. Dory Funk. Oh. Ripping at that bad eye of superstar Billy Graham. And our time is rapidly running out here. A snap mare now. And it's Dory Funk Jr. punishing superstar Billy Graham. And we've got a free-for-all going here. Superstar Billy Graham scores with a hard right hand. Our time is completely gone. We'll see you again next week here on Championship Wrestling 84.